Welcome back to the Fish Files. I'm Randy, here to talk about shrimp. Later in the show, I even have our breeder coming in from Taiwan to introduce a few new species. They can go from 15 cents to 150 bucks each. But it's a huge growing piece of our hobby, so I thought it'd be important for us to address it. It's also a lot of fun. Shrimp are really amazing little pets. Very first, let's talk about the 15-cent shrimp, ghost shrimp, Paleomonetes. These guys are wild caught in Florida. They're used in the fish trade and the saltwater aquarium hobby as feeder shrimp, but they're also lovely little clear shrimp just to decorate your aquarium. No one builds their whole shrimp tank around a ghost shrimp, but it's a nice addition to a peaceful community fish tank. But they're also fun to feed to your needlefish gars, your jetta gars, those kind of little monster fish that we'll talk about in a later episode. All right, now before we get into the hardcore fancy shrimp, I want to talk about filter shrimp, the Singapore flower shrimp, or called the bamboo shrimp. These guys get about 3 inches long. They have a good rusty color to their body. They're also very safe, despite their size, to the other creatures in the fish tank. They filter particles from the water, and that's how they find their food. Not the greatest algae eaters, but great at just taking debris out of the water. And they're called, again, flower shrimp. And then we have the vampire shrimp. The vampire shrimp comes from Nigeria. They're called vampire shrimps because they have little tiny hands and a big hunched body, and they just filter stuff out of the water. And they get 4 inches long. Monsters, and they don't hurt a fly, but they sure look like they'll go after the bride. And now let's go into the fancier shrimp. And we're gonna start with the queen of all the algae eaters, discovered by Takashi Amano and eventually named after him, the Amano shrimp. Also called the japonica shrimp, the Caridina japonica shrimp, multidentata shrimp. It's so important, it's gone through all kinds of different classification names. The latest is Caridina multidentata, but everyone knows it as the Amano shrimp. Usually when you buy Amano shrimp in a pet store, it's a small to medium size, almost hard to see. And when you put in the aquarium, sometimes they get a little lost. They like to hide and feed nocturnally, but I want to show you they do grow. So this is a full-size Amano shrimp. This is one terrific algae eater and great in community tanks. And since he's a good hider, you can even put these with cichlids. I put these in as long as he's got a place to hide. These are the masters of algae eating, from filamentous to film algae, and probably the most popular shrimp in the aquarium trade. Now let's go to the easiest fancy shrimp to keep, orange riley, blue riley, and they're also beautiful. They're all solid colors, gold-backed yellow or stripe, all the same species. They will breed with each other in the fish tank. And even though these guys only live 2 years, the good news is they breed like rabbits, well, or shrimp. And so if they die, their sons and their sons' sons will still inhabit your aquarium. So let me show you the most popular and the most affordable. Now they already molted, so I already have, this is not a dead shrimp. This little clear thing is the exoskeleton. Just a quick note on molting. The exoskeleton's harmless in the fish tank. If it's in a community tank, if you have a scavenger in there or snails, they'll take care of it. If not, just scoop it out. It does no harm to the water, but they're not the prettiest thing to see in your aquarium. These guys do grow quick. So these are the cherry shrimp. These are the $5 shrimp you'll find in pet stores. And now let me just run through some of the colors of the species. These guys are bred in Taiwan for color, and they have some common names now in the trade. This is called the super blue or blue velvet shrimp. Solid blue, very, very pretty. There's different variations of this one. If this had a stripe on it, it would be called a blue Riley. If it's solid, again, it's a blue velvet. If it's really dark blue, it's called a Levi blue. The Taiwanese came up with all kinds of different names. And I already have a baby shrimp in here. I don't know if we'll be able to pick it up in the camera, but yeah, these guys breed fast. And we have the Mandarin orange and we have the Black Knight. Both beautiful variations, solid black, solid orange variations of the Neocaridina species. These will interbreed, so if you want to keep the same solid colors in your fish tank, you'll have to keep these in separate tanks. But the fun thing is you never know what you're going to get when you put two of these things together. In the fish store, all these are around $10. One step up, now you're going to $12 to $14. Same species, but a little more difficult to create. The jade green, which in a light background in the fish tank, it's a nice deep color green. Very popular and very pretty. And then we have a couple more. Jade green's a solid green, but then you go into patterns. So orange Riley, blue Riley, these means they're Neocaridina, but they've been bred to create some striping on them. And we have goldback yellow. There's solid yellow, and then one step up is the goldback yellow shrimp. The goldback yellow shrimp, the gold really glows on top of the yellow, and the orange Riley has a clear body with a bright orange striping on it by its shoulder and on its tail. Really a very pretty shrimp, and only about 12 bucks in the store. Now let's go to the more expensive shrimp, and this is typically around 20 bucks in the pet store. Crystal red shrimp. These are Caridina shrimp. Caridina is a different species. They are still wild caught and then bred for color in Taiwan. These guys were the first Caridina I'm aware of that came onto the trade, and so they're probably right now the most affordable. Again, I said they're about $20 retail. Beautiful shrimp with a white body, not a clear body, and red striping. If it was clear, it'd be back to Riley, but this is the Caridina species, and it's the difference too, though, is the Neocaridina species, very easy to maintain. They can handle a wide range of KH, of temperatures, but unfortunately, the Caridina need soft water. They need lower pH, really 7s, about where you want to keep the water. If it gets up towards 7.5, 7.8, these guys are going to drop off. Temperature wise, if it gets up towards 80 degrees, these guys are going to drop off. Neocaridina can handle close to 80 degrees, but not these fellas. So something from 65 to 75 degrees, soft water, low pH, and these guys can live 4 to 5 years, twice as long as the Neocaridina. And also, they breed like rabbits, or like Neocaridina. The next one we're going to talk about is the Galaxy Caridina. Galaxies, when they first came out, you could see them for $1,000 a piece. But like everything else that's bred, eventually the price comes down. Now you can find Galaxies for $25 to $30 in the pet stores. Fishbone Galaxies have kind of basically they look like a fishbone pattern on the back of their back. Same thing with red. So you can have a Galaxy that's a more solid color, or you can have a fishbone quality. The breeder or the seller of the shrimp should be able to identify which pattern you're getting for that kind of money. I mean, these guys are beautiful. They'll live 4 to 5 years. They'll breed. I just want to reiterate, you're going to be spending a lot for Caridina shrimp, and they are easy to care for as long as you're starting with the right water conditions. Now, these are what I have in the warehouse at the moment. There are plenty of other really fine colors and patterns. Our supplier is coming from Taiwan this week, and she always comes in with a few samples for us. And without further ado, here's Shrimp Annie.
Hi!
Hello!
Hi! So today I bring some shrimp. This is called snowball.
Snowball.
Yeah.
Snowball is different than snow white shrimp?
Yes, it's different. And this one is for Neo. So this is like a snowball.
Okay.
And black lily.
So these are all Neocaridina?
All Neos.
Okay.
And it's Bloody Mary.
Okay.
Yes, and the blue dream.
All
Yes,
right.
all the Neos. Yes. Okay. This one is the Caridina. This is
Okay.
the King Kong.
We're moving up in the world.
Yeah, this is the red King Kong, black King Kong, and the blue ball. Last one I bring. This is the black fancy tiger and the red fancy tiger.
Thank you again for coming to watch the Fish Files, and we hope you subscribe, and most of all, we hope you get an aquarium. Before we leave, I would like to address 2 good comments that came from some of our new subscribers. Nutmeg made a very good comment when we introduced the 10 beginner fish in an earlier segment. I was simply opening bags. In that case, I was pulling fish right from my warehouse, and they were healthy fish in fresh water. In those cases, there's no reason not to add that fish water into your fish tank. However, if you receive a bag that's been delayed in shipping, for instance, if it's an online store shipment, or if it's from the pet store and the pet store water didn't look that clean, or it had some dead fish in it, just pour the water out through a net and release the fish from the net. In cases where you have clean water, healthy fish in the bag, there's no reason not to just release that water in your fish tank. But that's a good comment from Nutmeg, thank you. And one more, and this one was a crazy one because in parts of the country, there is really high hard water. So we got a comment from Mama Duck, cool name, and Mama Duck, makes sense, she likes fish. So Mama Duck has up to 1500 kH, and kH is like hard water is 150 and above, soft water is 30 and below, medium's kind of in the middle. 1500 is like through the roof. That means your wells are coming through like limestone rock and going right into your tap. In that case, there's only a few fish. You could put brackish fish in there, but there's only a few fish you can put in your fish tank. Brackish fish, maybe African cichlids, gobies, and that's about it. Her concern was I was using lava rock, which releases minerals. Yeah, if you have high kH already, hard water, you don't need any more minerals in your water. You'd probably just stick with very stable pea gravel, small pea gravel, and that might be a little better for your fish quality. So a good comment from Mama Duck. Please keep leaving those comments. It's really makes this show a lot more fun, and we'll try and address them because I'm sure they're not the only ones that have high kH and are worried about introducing dirty fish bag water into their fish tank. Thank you again for watching. I really am enjoying the fact that we've got people actually subscribing to the show. So thank you very much.